ABC 6 News 11 at 11 starts right now.
Oh, he's wrecking!
Now at 11, a car chase in Cranston caught on camera ends with a wild crash. The young suspect police took into custody. Plus, demanding answers after 2 inmates in the ACI's custody die over the weekend. Who's speaking out on their behalf? And running for a great cause, how 2 Rhode Island state troopers are giving back to families with children battling cancer, all with help from the Boston Marathon. We'll get to those stories shortly, but first tonight at 11 o'clock, we're tracking breaking news out of Providence. 2 people stabbed and seriously hurt on Steuben Street. Police confirmed to ABC 6 News their injuries are not considered life-threatening. Detectives set up a crime scene on Steuben Street shortly after 8 o'clock tonight, but they're not sure if that's where the victims live. The investigation continues. Of course, we'll continue to update you as additional information is released both online and on air. Meantime, firefighters in Westport responding to a report of a car that hit a pedestrian on 195. It happened just after 10 o'clock this evening. 2 lanes right now are open as emergency crews continue to work at that scene. We reached out to police for additional information, and of course, we will update you online and on air as we hear more. Coventry police arresting 1 person on suspicion of DUI after this rollover crash this evening. It happened in the area of Hartney Hill and Nooseneck Hill roads. 1 person was initially trapped inside of their vehicle, but police tell us it looked a lot worse than it ended up being. 2 people were taken to the hospital just as a precaution. And police in Hopkinton are investigating a motorcycle crash that left the rider with serious injuries. This crash happened just after 5 o'clock tonight at the intersection of Ashaway and Chase Hill roads. Anyone who may have seen this incident is asked to call Hopkinton Police at that number right there on the bottom of your screen. Caught on camera, a police chase that started in Johnston came to a wild ending this afternoon in Cranston. Video shows the suspect vehicle crashing into a retention pond at Walmart on Plainfield Pike. That chase started in Johnston just after 3 o'clock. Police say they were trying to stop a stolen vehicle there. When police followed the car, the driver veered across the travel lanes and then plunged into the water. After all of that mess, police discovered the driver was just a 16-year-old boy. He was not hurt in the crash. He was taken into custody on multiple charges. Now to an ABC 6 News follow-up at 11 o'clock. Families of inmates speaking out tonight. They're demanding answers after 2 deaths at the ACI over the weekend. 1 inmate was pronounced dead at the hospital Friday after collapsing. The other inmate found unresponsive Sunday. ABC 6 News anchor Alyssa Azara joins us tonight in the studio with more. Alyssa?
Tiffany, according to the group Direct Action for Rights and Equality, 4 known inmate deaths have happened this year. The families of those inmates are calling on Governor Dan McKee and other state officials to investigate further, answer questions relating to the deaths, and bring oversight to the ACI.
48-year-old William Page was pronounced dead at Rhode Island Hospital after collapsing while playing basketball in the gym at the ACI Friday evening.
He was a good young man, and he was loved by everybody.
Page's great-aunt, Nancy Price, says she found out from an inmate that her nephew was at the hospital.
What's happening to our loved ones?
Right.
That's what I want to know. What's happening to our loved ones? And I will demand answers.
Page died of a heart attack. His family says he was in good health.
They're humans
Period.
just like us that are on the outside. The only difference is that they're behind those bars.
But they're humans.
But they're humans just like everybody else.
Lee Jones lost her son, 25-year-old Willie Washington Jr., who was serving 5 years. He was found unresponsive and was later pronounced dead at the hospital on February 28th. Jones says her son visited the nurse multiple times prior to his death and was given baby aspirin each time.
25 years old, healthy man. This is how I get him back. So if you don't tell me how Rhode Island State in ACI custody can neglect any human being or what charges they do, this is what happens.
Both families believe their loved ones are victims of medical neglect. The president of the Correction Officers Union says when an inmate goes into distress, a nurse is seeing them within minutes.
We have correctional officers that are trained in first aid and CPR. They're responding. So the word that gets out there is that the correctional officers are dropping the ball, and we're causing this. That's the furthest thing from the truth.
Ferruccio says K2, which is a synthetic drug that comes into the prison on paper, is a huge issue at the ACI. And he says he doesn't know how many deaths could be related to that. The Rhode Island DOC released a statement to us that reads in part, "People come to us from police departments and courts with all manner of afflictions, comorbidities, and medical ailments. Just like in nursing facilities, hospitals, and other extended care centers, people unfortunately pass away due to different causes."
Corrections officers call these latest inmate deaths part of a recent troubling trend at the ACI. We'll have more on that later this week. In the newsroom, Alyssa Azara, ABC 6 News.
Forward to hearing more later this week. Thanks, Alyssa. Let's turn our attention tonight at 11 o'clock to the weather. Briefly, before we get to Jeff, let's take a look at this submission to our Now Local News app. This one comes to us from Tammy, who shared this video of the sunset at Fort Adams State Park in Newport. Look at that. It was a stunner of a sunset tonight. Those colors really hung out in the clouds. Jeff Banson joins us now with a look at our forecast. Jeff?
Yes, it was a beautiful day indeed, Tiffany. We have another one coming up tomorrow. However, a bit of a surprise tonight. There was a little bit of instability in the atmosphere as there was a cold front that's draped to the south of us and a lot of cold air aloft in the atmosphere. We did have some showers right around sundown. These just kind of blew up out of nowhere. Some of them, as we have reported here into the Weather Center, even contained a little bit of very small hail. And this makes sense when you consider this is the same cold front that brought severe weather and severe storms down towards Washington, D.C. and parts of the Delmarva. You can see that line pushing through Norfolk, Virginia right now. And look at all of the hail and wind reports in the wake of that line. And you can see the lightning bolts. You follow it up over the water and into our neck of the woods. And there you can see, again, just right after about 8 o'clock, these started popping up across the area. Let's take you to one place in particular where we got a confirmed hail report in North Smithfield. 1/8 of an inch in size. That is about the size of a pea, if you envision it. So very, very, very tiny hail, but certainly, again, catching some of us off guard, and rightfully so. Again, these weren't really expected to be so expansive, let alone to the degree that they are producing a little bit of hail here. We have a stronger storm right now moving over the New Bedford area. I've lost the hail tracker on that. There was some uplift in the atmosphere with that storm that could have been causing some hail. If you are seeing that in the New Bedford area and you have our Now Local News app, we'd love to show any pictures or videos that you might have. It's still quite mild and comfy out there right now, even though we have some wet weather. But that's all going to be gone shortly. We'll talk about the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up. Tiffany.
See you then. Thanks, Jeff. New tonight on ABC 6 News, 11 at 11. Tiverton police arresting a Fall River man they say vandalized pumps at a gas station. Police were called to American Dream Gas on Main Road at 2 a.m. Wednesday, which is when they found the screens on the pump smashed. After searching that area, officers found 19-year-old Jaden West sleeping on a bench. Police say he matched the description of the suspected vandal. West was held on $1,000 bail at his arraignment. He'll be back in court Thursday. Meantime, police in Attleboro searching for 4 people after shots were fired outside of the Wendy's on Washington Street. It happened around 8 o'clock Saturday night. Police say the 4 suspects got into an altercation inside of Wendy's and then ran out to a car, fired shots into the air before driving away. If you know anything, you're asked to contact Attleboro Police. The Courtyard Providence Marriott downtown set to get a complete remodel under its new ownership. The Del Monte Hotel Group announcing today it's purchased the Courtyard and has plans that include a top-to-bottom reno of the building. No word yet on when those renovations are set to begin. Firefighters in Freetown called to a fire that started in a field of solar panels. It happened behind Dr. Braley Road. Firefighters sharing these photos of the flames that were blown up the dry, grassy hill. No one was hurt, thankfully. What caused the fire is still being investigated. Now to some traffic alerts Southern New England's need to know about this week. Lots of road work happening in Taunton. According to the city, beginning tomorrow, there will be sidewalk construction on Ingle and Ware Streets, sewer work on North Walker, Green and Hopewell Streets, and gas line installation on Dunbar, Fremont, and West Britannia Streets. We have a full list of the closures and when to expect them to be completed on our website, abc6.com. A part of Coesit Ave will be closed this week for construction. West Warwick PD says Coesit between Church Street and Coint Ave will be closed, but detours will be available. Police are asking drivers to avoid that area if possible. The work is set to be completed by next week. Now to our coverage of the 128th running of the Boston Marathon. 2 Rhode Island State Troopers who ran the Boston Marathon today raised some serious cash for families in need. Captain Cambio and Detective Lieutenant Melfi ran with the charity Cops for Kids with Cancer, raising more than $15,000 to help families pay for treating pediatric cancer. The captain finished the race in 4 hours, 44 minutes. The detective lieutenant finished in 4 hours and 54 minutes. Congratulations, guys. Happening across New England, a Massachusetts woman charged with driving drunk with her 1-year-old in the car and causing a crash. It happened in Connecticut. According to state police there, it happened Saturday night just before 7:30 on 84 in Southington. The Stadies say 36-year-old Elizabeth Silva rear-ended the car in front of her. That caused a chain reaction of 3 cars spinning out. In all, 4 people, including that 1-year-old child, were taken to the hospital. Massachusetts State Police announcing security measures for the Norfolk County Superior Courthouse. It's all in preparation for the first day of Karen Reed's trial. Jury selection begins tomorrow. Reed is charged with second-degree murder in connection to the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. No one will be allowed to protest, wear buttons, or even bring photos relating to the case within 200 feet of the building. National news tonight at 11 o'clock. A deputy and a police officer shot and killed in upstate New York. It happened last night after police in Syracuse got a call about a stolen vehicle. That's when shots were fired. So far, 1 person has been arrested. The suspect's identity has yet to be released. Consumer news tonight at 11 o'clock. Local firefighters raising awareness of a mattress being recalled for violating multiple fire codes. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, Ghost Bed branded mattresses can catch fire easier than most. Anyone with a recalled mattress should reach out to Ghost Bed for a free fire-resistant mattress cover. More than 500,000 Roku accounts have been compromised in a cyber attack. Roku says hackers got access to accounts through stolen logins, specifically ones that are used for multiple accounts. The company says they'll be reversing and refunding any fraudulent purchases made on accounts that were included in the breach. Just ahead tonight at 11 o'clock, sports director Nick Coit is here with a look at sports, including Cumberland hosting Cranston West in Division II boys lacrosse. Plus, Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Manson returns with a recap of today and a look ahead at this week's forecast. Plus, we'd like to hear from you on our Now Local News app. Scan the QR code on your screen and let us know what you're seeing out your window. You're watching ABC6, Southern New England's trusted news source.